Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for taking your precious time to be with us and to learn about this medicine. It is our greatest joy and privilege to share about this spirit. So thank you.
Mhm.
And we will share, Basi, we will share about Iboga as a medicine and also the traditional indigenous purposes for this medicine that are very different from the mainstream medicalized ibogaine model, which centers around drug detox. And that is also a very important use of the medicine. It can be a life-saving addiction disruptor, but it is just like iboga, a piece to a puzzle. It is a piece to a puzzle. It is not a magic bullet. It is part of a process and very much a network of relationships. Community holds these medicines. And so for us here at SoulCentro, we're at SoulCentro in Costa Rica. We very much focus on the indigenous traditional purposes for this medicine, and we'll speak more about that. We'll introduce ourselves. My name is Elizabeth Bast. My Bwiti name is MBEYE, which means river. That is who I am. That is my greatest teacher. And I'm very grateful to have been raised in native ceremony and come from deep ceremony background from a very young age with my mother. Through tragedy and challenge, we were brought to the Iboga medicine on our knees. And that said, it was the greatest blessing as an entry point for the medicine. And I'm very grateful to be a Bwiti initiate. I'm very grateful to have had deep immersive multiple journeys to Africa to study the indigenous ways of knowing. And that said, I'm just a beginner with a lifetime of learning ahead of me in that way, and to be a traditionally trained Iboga provider. And also I am a trauma-informed yoga teacher with a 30-year practice and 2 certifications for teacher training. And I bring the yoga and meditation on site here at SoulCentro at our center. And I've also been through the Being True to You coaching certification program, which focuses on addiction recovery and psychedelic integration. I'm so honored to be the wife of this man here, GNYANGOU, and we work side by side here at our center, SoulCentro in Costa Rica, which is very much a cultural bridge to our teachers in Gabon. And we serve with the complete blessing of our elders, which is very important to us. We serve sustainably and ethically harvested medicine through our sacred relationships. And we serve in a very medically responsible way. We serve with the highest level of medical screening and on-site support, which we feel is very important, really being a bridge between 2 worlds. And that's a little bit about me. This is.
My name is is Chor Boogie, and my Bwiti name is Nyangu, which means the sun. And I am a traditionally trained uh, medicine provider through the Bwiti Asangwedia branch, Masoko from Gabon. And we have been working with this medicine for the last 10, 11 years. And through all the blood, sweat, years, and tears, have worked my way up the ranks, becoming a Nganga to Nimana or Nima and Nimana Kombo, and which is one of the highest or the highest level of traditional healer that you can achieve within the tradition. And yes, that is me. Oh yeah, and I'm an artist. Been an artist for the past 30 years. So that's who I am.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you'd like to see his Iboga inspired art, You can go to chorboogie.com, CHORBOOGIE.
Well, I've been an artist for my whole life, but for
Yeah.
with aerosol spray paint, I've been been a professional artist for 30 years. Yeah.
Yes. And lots of Iboga inspiration flowing through that recently. So let's jump in
Mm.
to, how about a brief grounding? A brief grounding to arrive all the way here. I'm going to invite everyone to sit up really tall and allow the crown to reach toward the sky and everything below the navel rooting into the earth, and closing the eyes or lowering the lids, either way. And enjoying 3 of the most savored full body breaths of your life. Breathing into the whole body, another sip of air, brief pause there, and exhale with the whole body. Out through the mouth, taking a cleansing breath. Breathing in with the whole body. Another sip of air, brief pause. Exhale out all of the thoughts. Just breathe out every last one like dry leaves in a strong mountain wind until you're empty. And breathing in this beautiful sacrament of breath into your entire being. Another sip of air, brief pause at the top. Exhale through the mouth any burdens or worries. Letting go of everyone, at least for this moment, fully. And in this space, coming into a relaxed breath, tuning into your most center, your spiritual center, the deepest part of your being, and your sacred desires for being here today. Your sacred desires for your life. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes as if for the very first time, you're paying attention to your vision. Listening as if it were your first day ever having ears. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, becoming present to the sense of smell. Noticing the taste in your mouth and your sense of touch, gravity and temperature. And welcome, here we are, all the way here. The Bwiti say that the senses are a sacred gateway to the spirit world and very much give us an opportunity to awaken, to know who we are, to know what life is. And we'll start with just sharing what Iboga is. Some of you are very familiar with Iboga. Some of you are newer to Iboga. Many people, unfortunately, in the West think of it as the drug detox medicine. Sometimes we'll talk about Iboga and people will say, oh, I don't need that. I don't have any hard addictions. And first, everybody has addictions. Everybody has addictions.
Mhm.
Of some kind or another, to some degree or another. And they're actually, what we learned from Iboga, there is no crushing addiction. There's only redirecting that power, because it is a great power. And you could say that addiction is like an unconscious and compulsive form of devotion, right? Addiction in its conscious and intentional expression, basi, thank you. That's a Bwiti word that is a sacred yes truth. Word up. So in its conscious expression, addiction becomes devotion in its conscious intentional direction. So yes, it is wonderful for addiction, but that's just the first thing that it does to bring us to its real divine gifts that it is here to bless humanity with now, especially. It is propagating itself into the world now for very important purposes that we will share. So this is a shrub from Central West Africa, and the medicine that is the sacrament is an inner layer of the root bark. Tabernacle Iboga is its scientific name. And what we know is that this isn't just a plant. This isn't just a substance. This is a sentient spirit that is aware of us. that has bioengineered itself over millions of years, tracking us, studying our DNA. This is a being that is a genius. It is a love genius, very much a teacher. And we receive the greatest gifts from this teacher when we are in a devotional relationship with it. I also know this being as an ancestor that came before us. And it is, the Bwiti say, both a mother spirit sometimes and a father spirit at different times. It is fluid, it is dynamic, it is adaptogenic in that way. And what we see, and this is also why we focus so much on the indigenous purposes, and we ask people to come already clean. It doesn't mean perfect. It means clean. And we also work with really some of the best preliminary detox coaches in the world that have modalities a lot of people don't know about to help make that preliminary detox and titration easier and smoother, more accessible. But what we see is that the cleaner people come to this medicine, the more gifts they're going to get that actually keep them well long term. And there's a lot of ibogaine centers that'll just take the money with no preparation and integration, factory style, get them in, get them out, load them up with enough benzos to make it through and walk out the door. So that, which dims the full effect of the medicine. Benzos, by the way, dims the benefits. But we don't do that here. We see that preparation and preliminary detox, even for well people, helps us to get more gems from the medicine, and will, in terms of like clarity, purpose, freedom from doubt, authentic self-love, inspiration. That's what keeps people well long-term, having clarity. You want to talk about what is Iboga?
What is Iboga? What is Iboga? Iboga to me was probably was the closest thing to a savior that I've ever seen in my life. Why do I say that? Because the path that I went down in my life, uh, jails, institutions, and death, and drugs, and all that stuff. I needed something to cycle, break that cycle in my life, to have a full paradigm shift with my mind, body, and soul. And I needed something strong enough to do that.
I see.
And when I came across Iboga, you know, mind you, I've done other plant medicines before that, and nothing ever came close to it. When I did Iboga, that changed my life, my entire life. I learned how to love my life in less than 24 hours. That's the power of Iboga, especially somebody like me who comes from a world that of hurt and lived in it, bathed in it, marinated in it, and loved it. Needed something that powerful. Almost. It's like I say this. It's like taking a traumatic experience to break another breaking traumatic experiences. And why do I say that? It's because it's like a positive traumatic experience that you need. You need something that strong in order to break all those traumatic experiences in your life. Huh. You need something to break that. That's how they fight viruses with viruses. So you almost have to take a strong enough medicine in order to really break you free, break those chains
I see.
in your life. You know, What is the Iboga medicine? The Iboga medicine is the truth when it comes to your mind, body, and soul. And if you're not ready to face the truth and see yourself for who you really are, then this is the medicine for you. So um, when I first did this, yeah, I was intimidated. I was definitely fearful, scared, and I'm not a fearful and scary type person, not at all. And when I did it and went through the motions, I realized afterwards, like, why the fuck was I scared? Why was I scared of something so beautiful? That I realized that yeah, there's painful moments and painful things that are coming at me that I needed to see and learn how to navigate and learn how to let go and learn how to get rid of in my life. I had to learn that with this medicine. And once I did that, everything was beautiful. One of the most beautifulest experiences in my life. Well, granted, I have African ancestors. I have African blood in me. So maybe that was uh one of the closer relationships to me in this medicine because my ancestors were calling me to bring this medicine back, to bring me back to this medicine. And then I ended up in Africa and ended up back in Africa or ended in Africa. And once a Bwiti, always was a Bwiti. And then I became Bwiti and learn the past and learn the tradition and learn the true value and respect and relationship and meaning of this medicine. Once one has a calling for this path, they end up going that route. And if one really wants to know the true meaning and true value and the true purpose of this medicine, the medicine will call you. The medicine will call you, and you will end up in Africa, and you will end up walking the path of this tradition. Um, Granted, you may have other modalities in your life, but at the end of the day, you will realize that you are the modality with this medicine. Basi.
Thank you for sharing that relationship.
This medicine is a strong medicine.
It is. It is.
It doesn't play and it plays at the same time.
Yeah. It's wonderful to see the truth about ourselves first. That is the first step in all the healing. That is the first step in the freedom. There's so much freedom when we can really see the truth very clearly. And we'll share a bit about the Bwiti tradition as well, just to give some context, and then we'll flow into the indigenous purposes of this medicine. So the Bwiti is the study of life, and that never ends, right? It is a tradition and not a religion, and we don't like that word religion because there's a lot of beliefs involved in religions that people haven't necessarily verified through direct experience. And the Bwiti see that beliefs can be very dangerous, especially how they were treated by the French colonists based on beliefs that dehumanize them. Beliefs are very dangerous. And there's a very deep reverence for the art of knowing. Knowing is different than a belief. A belief is like a change of clothes. Certain things you just know to the core of your being. You know that you love your children. You know that the sun rises every day. Like, these things. And to differentiate and to study, well, how do we know things? That is Bwiti. It's based in Central West Africa. There are different branches of Bwiti. We are a part of the Asangwidia Misoko Bwiti. And one way to really describe the Bwiti, so it's not a cult. Some people, with good reason, people should be discerning around organizations. You know, there have been a lot of bad ones. But this will never separate people from anybody. It will never, and it's a wonderful expression. The three walls of the Bwiti temple expresses the whole foundation of the social systems there. And that's that one door is open, and then there's three walls. And that open wall means that anyone can come at any time and anyone can go at any time. And there's a very deep respect for personal sovereignty and choice, even if it's a bad choice. It's like, well, you know, it's your choice. It's very centered around the community. There are definitely relationships of mentorship that are very devotional, like Chor has with his teacher Binana.
Papa Binana.
Papa Binana,
Mm-hmm.
Great teacher. Thank you, Binana.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, everybody has choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the truth is that a lot of people like to be controlled. And that's not this system. This will always turn you back to the highest teacher in your heart. The highest teacher is your soul. The guru is your soul. And a good Bwiti facilitator will steer you back to that over and over again, even when you're looking for answers. It's like, you actually have the answers, and this medicine helps you to listen very deeply. And there's a great reverence for the present moment in the Bwiti. I'm really grateful for how this medicine and the Bwiti has facilitated a really deep relationship with the present moment for me. And there's a relationship with nature spirits and plant spirits that is devotional. They don't worship these things. This is devotional relationships through offerings and song, you know, being in relationship through all of these nature spirits helps us to be more present, helps us to be more responsive and responsible as stewards of planet Earth. And the dance medicine is important in the Bwiti, the music, the drumming, these are all really important forms of medicine coming together. And there's a focus on soul healing. You know, in the West, there's a big focus on psychological healing, but the cause of a lot of psychological ailments are actually soul wounds. And there's a very special modality that is offered through this lineage of Bwiti. It's a soul journey to help people heal their souls and to help people connect with their ancestors and heal their whole ancestral line. And a lot of the reasons why we do things is because of our ancestors and our epigenetic expression. We carry all of their memories in our being. So we must be in relationship with our ancestors, and that's very important in the Bwiti also. It's a wonderful tradition for being in relationship with ancestors. And the Bwiti learned about the medicine through the Bobongo people, who are the deepest forest dwelling people, also known as pygmies, is the colonial term. Adam Bwiti?
Yeah. The Bwiti is a study of life as we know it. Yeah, the Bwiti is is not a cult. No, not at all. We don't give a care what you do. If you decide to leave, you go ahead and leave. You can leave all you want. The thing is, we if we're happy if you're happy. We're happy if you're happy. We accept happiness. And if you just love to, blow yourself out of a cannon, rubbing peanut butter all over your body, you know, and you're happy with it, we're happy with that. You know, that's your prerogative. And so, when it comes to the Bwiti, the Bwiti are stewards of the truth. They're stewards of the truth. They're stewards of this medicine. They're stewards of the mind, body, and soul. They spent eons working in the spirit world, studying life, and and really understanding, overstanding, and understanding it to a point where you know, they live in acceptance of it, but at the same time, they're willing to share it with the rest of the world
Yes.
if the world is ready. And it depends on the person. Like Elizabeth said, it's your choice. It's your choice if you go down this path, but um you will also be chosen by the medicine
Basti,
at the
sometimes
same time.
it'll rearrange your schedule.
Yeah. So and if you're chosen, I suggest listening.
Basti, it will speak to you.
It will speak to
It
you.
will
This
speak to you
medicine
very
will speak to you.
clearly. We actually never really suggest the medicine to anybody. We wait to listen for people's call.
Yeah.
Do you feel the call? Is that medicine coming in your dreams? Is it coming in your waking visions? Is it speaking to you?
We actually also, when they come to, go down the path of self-discovery, as I like to say, helping people becoming spiritual archaeologists, coming down the path of self-discovery, when they're feeling the calling of the medicine, and and when we take them on that guided journey, there are certain signs and certain tools and certain ways to find out if somebody is ready for this path. The medicine will let them know. And when you're going in with this medicine, you're not going in alone. See, that's a differentiation between what we do with this medicine and any other plant medicine. We don't just give you the medicine and let you just sit there and try to figure it out on your own.
It's like getting lost in the jungle.
It's too complicated. You can sit there and just look at all the beautiful things that are happening, but you don't know what that means. And so you're not going in alone. We help navigate you through that spirit world, because that the spirit world may also be a beautiful place, but it's also a dark place at the same time. It has a balanced perspective. Dark things can enter you through that spirit world, and that's why the Masoko Asangwidia, we carry the line of protection. You have to carry a line of protections, and learn and know how to use them in order to really, really, really protect people that come through these doors and introduce them to the medicine. See, this is what's missing out there in the interweb. They just want to tell you that this is just all about addiction and throw and make you believe the medical model is the way. It has its benefits. It has its benefits. It may open the door, but if it's going to open the door, things might come in. You do not know. That happens with all medicines.
Mhm.
So, if one is walking this path, you're going to learn the protections to really, really, really help yourself.
Mhm. Thank you.
Basi.
I want to give my deepest gratitude to the Bwiti, and I feel and I know through my decade of relationship with this medicine that their knowledge holds immeasurable value
Mhm.
in relationship to working with this medicine. And I have seen that over and over, that we are drawing on a lineage of generational, devotional, reciprocal relationship that has been happening for eons. It's intimacy with the medicine and understanding the intricate, interesting opportunities that it brings. And just like when someone is in a relationship with you and they're respectful and devotional, you're going to show that person a whole other side of yourself. It's the same thing with the medicine, right? So I'm so grateful to know this way and to feel this intimacy and this technology and science. This is science, indigenous science.
And you also have to know how to get that stuff out of you.
Yes, yeah, psychedelics, all the medicines that can throw the doors wide open.
Blow them
the
wide open.
container is very important.
Very.
The intention, the spiritual protection, not just set and setting, the spiritual protection. And we're very grateful for the Bwiti for that also. Basi, and to share now the traditional functions of the medicine. First and foremost, spiritual initiation. all the young people emerging into adulthood, in addition to a true rite of passage experience, they have spiritual initiation. And what is that? That is understanding without a doubt what life is and what it means to you and the purpose of that life. That is a beautiful gift to know that down to one's bones. What is life? What is it for? What does it mean to you? And answering questions. So in the origin story of this medicine, we won't share the whole thing right here, but one of the origin stories that we carry is that the second woman who ever experienced it, and the first one who did so intentionally as research, had the Iboga spirit come to her and say, "Hello, I'm the spirit of Iboga. I have been watching you humans for a long time. And you love to ask questions, all the deepest existential questions. What is the purpose of my life? What or where or who is God? How can I be a good mother, father, brother, sister, daughter, son, friend? How can I be happy? How can I find true love? How can I create abundance in my life? What is my service to humanity? How can I up-level my vision?" Like all of these questions. And then Iboga said, "I have come to answer or help you answer your questions. I've come to help you answer your questions." And that speaks to me of millions of years of co-evolution. And it's a practice in Gabon to plant an Iboga tree over a grave. Why is that? That is because the Iboga is studying our DNA. It's reaching its roots to learn who we are and who we will become in our evolution, which is dangerous to planet Earth right now. And it has really come to help us heal the cause of all our planetary ailments, which is the human being mind. The human being mind is the cause of all of the pain and destruction on planet Earth. The pathologies of greed, the pathologies of thinking that we are separate from every other being in this great body here of Earth. So it's come to help us. And and it's also utilized for shamanic diagnosis and prescription. We started to learn some of these ways where you can scan someone, you can tune into them, and it really lights up medical intuition as well, to see what medicine people need to heal. And that's for the healers, that purpose. And it will help the healers to study every plant in the jungle apothecary as well. It helps us to study life. It helps us to study the teachings and empowerments of nature spirits and animal spirits. As we mentioned, soul healing and soul connection. And it is a hunter's medicine. So they will take it in very small amounts, hunting in the jungle all day for mental endurance, physical endurance, and spiritual endurance. And it helps us to do that with our own life. It helps us to hunt our destiny, to get very clear. That's one of the most amazing forms of spiritual protection, is to become clear on where we're going and why. Because if we are not hunting our destiny, what I know to be true in the jungle of life is that something will then hunt us. If we don't have a clear intention for our life, we will become vulnerable to somebody else's or something else's intention. So that's a very profound gift. It is a hunter's medicine to help us hunt our life, and not only our own life, but the 21st generation forward. What are we going to leave behind? It helps with, this is a solutions medicine. So if you think about it, this is the ultimate neuroregenerative medicine. There's a study out now out of Stanford that is demonstrating that ibogaine is helping veterans to heal TBI, traumatic brain injury, along with PTSD. And I've heard the stories myself of radical improvement, the healing of traumatic brain injury. So think about it, what it can do for a very well-created person working on global solutions. this can help us with creativity like no other medicine, especially in a long arc relationship. I want to see the climate change scientists here. I want to see the big change makers here. Load them up. See what we can do. Definitely art and creativity. Absolutely. Protection and seeing. It will show you where you're headed. And that said, nothing is written in stone because there's always choice. It will show us, okay, what's behind door number 1? What's behind door number 2? You want to keep going that way? Okay. So it's showing us where we can go, what is possible with our choice. And it also can warn us. It can warn and show us where we're going. So in that sense, divination and prophecy, and community celebration ceremonies, welcome ceremonies, all different kinds of community ceremonies, not only initiation. That's the stronger doses, but Iboga is utilized in a lot of different ceremonies in lighter amounts. And that's I think, a bit of misinformation that's out there that it's only ever taken for initiation. That's not true. They take it all the time for all different purposes. So again, communication with nature spirits, being a student of nature, learning from nature. Every spirit is a teacher. Every tree, every insect, every animal, every plant is a teacher and a medicine. A lot of people don't know Iboga is a tremendous medicine for fertility and virility. It definitely is an aphrodisiac. When you get past the detox phase of it, that it can be very vivifying. And why would Iboga have anything to do with virility and fertility? It's like jungle Viagra. I mean, why would it do that? Because Iboga loves life. It's wonderful for men and women. Iboga loves life and wants to help life make more life in a good way with love. It can help us navigating our human relationships and conflict resolution. It can help us with communion with our ancestors. It is a direct link to our ancestors and healing ancestral lines. We must understand our ancestors in order to heal our ancestors within ourselves because they're right in our code. They're alive in our body. And what's so fascinating is that elephants eat Iboga. Elephants love Iboga. Elephants will take their young ones on long pilgrimages to visit and fondle lovingly the bones of their ancestors. Coincidence? I think not. Iboga helps us to love our ancestors and honor our ancestors, and that's one of the biggest things that's overlooked in mental health in the West. What is our relationship, our devotional relationship with our ancestors, even if they weren't perfect? We can say, thank you for making those mistakes so I don't have to. To be in devotional and gratitude, like you survived so I could survive now. You struggled so I don't have to in certain ways today. Right? So that's so much I could say about ancestral healing. That could be a whole call. Self-love, Basti, really loving yourself, accepting yourself, and knowing yourself, trusting yourself. Remote viewing. It's a thing. It is a traditional purpose of this medicine. You can get good at it, remote viewing, and astral travel all the way out into the cosmos. The Bwiti don't build rocket ships because they don't have to. And spiritual discovery. I want to share more on traditional purposes.
Traditional purposes, we gotta really realize that this medicine really helped evolve the neurological chemistry of the mind. So the tradition is based off the mind, body, and soul. So, like I said, it helped evolve the mind and the body. There's a story of how the medicine was planted by the grand architect in a barren planet, and the medicine communicated with the soil of the earth and the sun and the moon and the elements, and created mycelium. And the mycelium absorbed the medicine from the plant And then the medicine spread all over the planet, and which grew all the trees, everything, all plant life. And the Bwiti say that the apothecary, all the plants are medicine. All the trees, all the plants are medicine. And there's specific ones out there for specific things, but one has to learn how to use them and see and walking the traditional path or learning the tradition helps one learn how to understand, overstand, and understand these medicines. And so that will have an effect on the evolution of the mind and the body. So then you got the soul. So what about the soul? Okay, so there's an aspect of the soul, especially with the evolution of the soul. Um, when it comes to the soul, especially with Westworld and traumatic events, that we either cause upon ourselves or they are inflicted upon us. There's a moment where we typically get disconnected from our soul.
Mm-hmm.
Our soul will disconnect from our body, but it will still be there side by side, still be there protecting you throughout your life. And one of the main purposes of going down the path of this tradition and learning these ways is to help one reconnect with their soul and bring that soul back into their body.
Mm-hmm. I see.
So these are all things that are not explained because Westworld doesn't believe it, or they don't understand, or they just it's just something that they do not want to hear. So you know, but this I know for a fact because I've walked the path and I'm walking the path. Will walk it to the day that I die, and learning to the day that I die. And the things that I've seen out there traditionally um, are like magic, man. There's like magic.
It is
There's
actually
real
magic.
magic. And when I went and seen it for myself, I was like, that shit is real. Like right in front of my eyes. Like, okay, I'm sold. I'm in. And I said, I want to learn that. I need to know that. Um, you know, and so that is the perspective of mind, body, and soul.
Basi.
I see, and so another aspect of the mind that we can understand, overstand, and understand is that uh, people think we have past lives, but in reality, our past lives are our ancestors. So you got to take it all the way back to your very first ancestors, your very first, and and that's a long line. That's a long lineage. Talking about hundreds of thousands of people, and they all have a mind. They all have a mind, and they're all seeing things and going through traumatic events and going through all types of stuff. And then that brain matter, that neurological brain matter, is being passed on to the next person and to the next person and to the next person, like a domino effect, all the way until it reaches to you. So we technically have to go in there. Hence, the reason why there's these medicines or this medicine exists is because we have this opportune moment to go and heal that entire ancestral bloodline. All that brain matter that's all in your mind, you have this opportune moment to heal it, to heal your ancestral bloodline. That is another aspect of the mind part of the tradition of this medicine. So, you know, this is it's some real beautiful work
Yeah,
if you really can connect with it.
thank you.
Basi.
And Western psychology talks about disassociation,
Mm,
and that is the soul ejecting itself. a little or a lot. It can be partial, like scrolling all the time where you're not fully there and it's an addiction, is kind of a light disassociation, all the way to a complete disassociation. And that's when trauma survivors don't have memories because they actually weren't there. And so through this process, we're able to reconnect with the soul and heal that relationship. Because finally you can have all of the tools that you need in order to safely stay present. And the medicine can also give us tools that we need in order to be present. I'm so grateful. And that's some of the traditional purposes of this medicine. It is magic. I mean, nature is magic anyways. Just look at the formation of a butterfly. It's freaking magic. But this is legit Harry Potter grade magic that is going on. That we know a lot about magic, which is different from sorcery. Sorcery is something else, and that's something I'm going to do some writing on. I actually have done some writing on that you can find on my Medium. But this is love magic, liberation magic, healing magic, beauty magic. That's what kind of magic this is. Fulfilling our dreams, our creative dreams of our soul magic. So before we move into Q&A, I'll share a few things here. This is a difficult medicine for almost everybody. Almost everybody. It can be very, very challenging. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not for people who always must be comfortable, but for people who can value some discomfort in order for radical growth and blessings. Some people here will have a very challenging day on the day after ceremony. It's like the deepest soul searching. The deepest soul searching. This medicine will scrape the very bottom of any trauma that is still residing within our field, that is continuing to hold us back from the fertility of what's possible in the present moment. Those boulders that people carry around on their psychic backpack, those can be released, but the only way out is through. We must feel whatever has not been fully felt yet in order to let it go and be free of it. Right? We can only let things go that we know what we're letting go of. So Iboga will help us go through our psychic basement and our psychic attic and see what heirlooms we want to keep, which is also important. We can't just throw it all out. We can't just erase it. We need to keep certain things. And I will share here, please don't buy medicine online. Who knows where it's from? Medicine has been found to be adulterated, sometimes with very dangerous things or cardiotoxic plants that look similar. Please, sometimes people say, oh, I'm an experienced psychonaut. I can source it and do it on my own. And so in addition to adulteration dangers, some of the medicine online is from elephant poachers. We don't want to support elephant poachers. They'll follow the trails of the elephants and take the Iboga, rip it out of the ground in a non-sustainable way.
And kill the elephants and take
kill
their
the
tusks.
elephants. Yeah. And this is a medically sensitive medicine. We do very careful testing to make sure that it's appropriate for people. It's not for everyone. It's also not for everyone with certain kinds of psychiatric symptoms. So we're very, very careful in our screening. And people can go into very deep states with this medicine. Sometimes people it's very hard to move. They can fall down. They can be very physically vulnerable. There can be aspiration dangers if people don't know even how to purge. There's a way to purge. This is very deep purging. Yeah, it's not smart to do it yourself. Thank you, Gavin. Yeah. And sometimes people can get into very deep sacred states of seeing, but you really need a group of people there holding you to keep safe. So the medical safety, please don't do this in containers that don't do medical screening. There should always be someone present for 72 hours. It's available. So just some safety tips there. And then there's a spiritual safety that we spoke about, which is a whole other thing. Yeah, it's a very beautiful mind medicine. This has been the ultimate mind medicine that we have ever known. And I've experienced all of the major medicines at points in my life that I'm so grateful for. So with that, I'm going to share with you, for anyone watching the recording, you can write this down, this code, 300 gratitude. This is for people who listen to the recording later. 300 gratitude is a 300 off, these all caps, is a 300 off discount. And then right after we close the recording, we have another discount code for people who have stayed on the live call with us so far. So we will share that in one moment. So we're going into our Q&A here. And for everyone watching this recording later, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful to be here with you and have the privilege of access to this medicine and learning about this medicine and sharing it with you. It's so beautiful to watch people love themselves and come to realize what life really is.